Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Claudia, and today is gonna be a beginner-friendly yoga class. So if you are just trying out yoga and you want to give it a go, this is gonna be a perfect class for you. But of course, everyone is welcome. Everyone is always welcome. So for today's class, I want you to grab onto 2 blocks. If you need that, it's of course up to you to evaluate if you need blocks, but I always recommend having some blocks. And also we're gonna be using a pillow. I really encourage you to take it slow and be patient and kind with yourself and focus on breathing through the tension. And if you experience any pain, please put down a knee or step out of the posture and find into your child's posture. And today we are going to be doing some meditation and of course focus on the physical yoga practice. But I want you to know that yoga is so much more than just the physical practice, the practice of postures. And I want to remind you guys to stay curious and be open to the world of yoga and dive deeper into the different aspects and find the part of yoga that you can incorporate into your own life. But today is going to be all about the physical practice. So roll out your mat in a comfortable spot, in a spot where you can find some peace, and grab onto your props. You can just keep them near. We are actually going to be starting with the pillow, so grab onto your pillow and find your way onto your sitting bones. You can remove anything that's in the way, ground into the mat, and you can come into a cross-legged position, finding a spot that's comfortable for you. And if you experience any pain in the knees, you can always use the blocks to support you. Now place the palms onto the knees, either facing down to ground the body or facing upwards to receive some more energy. And once you arrive here on your mat, you can softly close the eyes and taking a big inhale in through the nostrils, down into the belly. Let go through the mouth. Relax down the shoulders. Staying soft in the palms. Keep your breath flowing in and out through the nostrils, calming down the body. And try to imagine every time you inhale, you're inhaling energy and positivity into the body. And as you exhale, you let go of expectations, you let go of the worries. And you arrive on the mat in your safe place, drawing the square around you on the mat. And knowing that just being here in the moment is good enough, and doing your best is always good enough. Stay soft in the fingers, the shoulders, and the elbows, resting them onto the thighs, connecting the mind to the breath. As you settle into the subtle body and begin to notice the breath, letting the energy flow in through the fingertips, into the arms, up the shoulders, down the spine, down to the lower back, out through the hamstrings, down the knees, to the calves and out the feet. Feeling your entire body. Taking 5 more mindful breaths. Slowly letting your energy flow through the nostrils and out for 2 more breaths. And now you can softly gaze open the eyes, looking in front of you, coming back into the open body, getting ready to feel energized as we move through these postures, these asanas, getting to know our bodies on a deeper level and discovering the body in the postures. You can start to remove the pillow away from the sitting bones and move it out to the side. Now we're gonna roll onto our knees, finding a tabletop position Let the knees come out to the sides of the mat and let the big toes come together. Press into the mat with the palms and start to sink down the hips, the sitting bones into the heels. And if it's a bit difficult coming all the way down, you can even use the pillow for extra support. And now you can melt down the chest into the ground and rest down the forehead into the mat for 5 full breaths. Keep the fingertips nice and soft for 2 more breaths. Lift the hips as you exhale. Slowly come back into your tabletop position and sink back down your sitting bones. Extend out the left leg and place the right heel into the left inner thigh and let the right knee point out to the right side. Now you can grab onto your blocks and place them in front of you, stack them on top of each other, and rest down the forearms into the block and let go at the crown of the head, getting a slight roundness into the spine, and release the foot, release the palms for 7 full breaths. Opening up the left hamstring. Exhale, start to roll through the spine, coming all the way back to center. Lift the blocks and stretch out the right leg. Bend the left knee and place the left heel into the right inner thigh. And now place back down the blocks and let the forearms come into the block and round into the spine. Release the crown of the head and be soft in the right foot and in the hands for 7 full breaths. Breathing through the tension of the hamstring for 2 more breaths. Exhale, roll through the vertebrae. Let the torso come back to center and put the blocks out to the sides of the mat. Bend the knees and flip the feet out to the side and roll on to the knees. Come back into your tabletop. We're going to make sure that our shoulders and wrist are stacked and that our hips and our knees are stacked as well. You can keep the toes tucked. We're going to warm up the wrist. So begin to draw circles with the wrist, letting the hips, the shoulders come out to the sides, to the top of the mat, out to the left, to the back, out to the right, and to the front. Rolling through the wrists. And now go into the opposite direction. 2 more breaths. And find into stillness. Flip the fingertips so that they're facing into the knees and start to sink the hips down to the heels. Open up the chest by pushing the shoulder blades together for 3 full breaths. Stretching out the wrists. Final breath. And exhale, come back into center. Now we're gonna warm up the spine by doing a few rounds of cat and cow, so keep the toes tucked. And as you inhale, you're gonna tilt the pelvis all the way to the sky and drop down the belly. And on your exhale, push into the ground, tuck the pelvis under and round into the spine. Inhale, drop. Exhale, push away the ground, rounding the spine. And you can add as much or as little movement as you need to. You can even go out to the sides. Moving intuitively with the body. Moving intuitively with the body, with the breath. For 2 more rounds. And now come back to center. Reach the right palm forward and extend the left leg. Inhale, squeeze into your left glute. And exhale, bend the right elbow in a 90-degree angle and bend the left knee in a 90-degree angle. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. So this is the cactus motion. Cactus. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus. One more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus, and let's go. Extend the left palm, extend the right leg, squeeze the right glute to open up the chest, and activate the back side. And exhale, cactus the knee and the elbow. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus, pushing that knee to the sky to keep it lifted. Two more. And exhale, let go. Now we're going to flip the left foot over to the left side of the mat and extend the right. Keep the left fingers rooted into the ground and lift up the right palm. Squeeze into the glutes to open up the hips and the chest and move the right palm a bit back with an inhale. And as you exhale, start gazing down into the floor and thread the right palm through the left. We are keeping the left palm rooted firmly to engage the oblique. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread. Looking all the way to the other side of the mat. One more. Place down the palm and come back to the middle. Place down the knees. Flip the right foot over to the right side, extend the left, and reach up the left palm. Squeeze the glutes to open up the hips and the chest. Inhale. And exhale, thread. Root down the right hand. Inhale. Lift the hips as far up as they go. Moving slowly and controlled with your breath. And exhale, thread. Let go of the palms. Find back into your tabletop. Keep the toes tucked. Take a nice inhale through the nose. And exhale, lift the hips high up to the sky in your downward dog. Now we're going to move here in the dog by bending one knee slightly at a time. Releasing tension from the hamstrings. Stretching one hip out to the side at a time. Now we're going to come into stillness in that downward dog and root down the palms firmly, and with an inhale we're going to let the forearms come into the ground and exhale in our dolphin posture, lifting the hips up even higher, walking the feet a bit closer to the top of the mat for 2 breaths. And exhale, walk the feet towards the back of the mat and walk the forearms towards the top of the mat. Sink down the hips a bit further in your low plank and gaze between the thumbs for 2 breaths. Exhale, sink down the pelvis, sink down the hips, and keep the elbows firmly pushed into the ground in your Sphinx posture. Extend out the feet and squeeze the glutes to engage the back side for 2 breaths. Exhale, melt down the chest, place the palms underneath the shoulders and extend the fingers out firmly. Inhale, push into the ground and push the elbows together. And exhale down in your cobra. Inhale, push. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale down. 2 more. And exhale, coming all the way back down. Place the palms here in front of you and bend into the elbows one more time in your Sphinx, engaging that back side by squeezing the glutes. We're going to bend the right knee and let the right knee come up to the top of the mat and let the foot come a bit out to the side in our half frog. Really press into the elbows to open up the chest, getting an opening onto the right groin for 3 full breaths. And exhale, extend the right leg all the way to the back of the mat, finding your sphinx once again, squeezing those glutes. And now we're gonna bend the left knee and let the left knee come up to the top of the mat. And open up that chest, push the shoulder blades closer together, creating less space between the shoulder blades. 3 full breaths. Breathing down into the belly, breathing through that opening. 1 more breath. And exhale, extend out the left leg. Keep the toes tucked and start to bend the knees and walk the knees closer to the top of the mat. Push down into the palms and lift the hips to the sky. In your downward dog, lift that right leg with an inhale. And exhale, press the knee into the chest and step down the right foot between the palms. And let the back knee come into the ground and extend the left foot. Grab onto your blocks, onto the high side or onto the middle side or onto that flat side, finding your way. Now you're gonna tuck the left toes and press away the knee. Open up the chest, push the chest bone high to the sky in your lunge. And make sure that the knee is not in front of the toes. And you can bend a bit deeper down into the right knee with your exhale. So inhale through the nose. And exhale, try and sink a bit deeper down, using the blocks to support you for 2 more breaths. Exhale, let the left knee come back into the ground and push the blocks over to the top of the mat. Press down the palms and start to reach the hips down to the back of the mat in your half split, folding the chest over the right knee. Extend out the left foot for 2 full breaths. Root down the left palm and start to rotate the chest over to the right side and lift up the right palm for 2 breaths. Gaze to the right thumb. Exhale, let the right palm come back into the ground. Bend back into the right knee and let the knee come to the top of the mat. Tuck the left toes and press away the floor. Lift up the chest, lift up the palms. And now interlace the palms onto the lower back. Stay high onto the ball of the back foot. Interlace the palms. Inhale, open up the chest, push the palms back. And exhale, let go. Plant back the palms and step the right foot back into that high plank. Take a big inhale in through the nose. And exhale, lift the hips. Lift the left leg with an inhale. And exhale, squeeze the knee into the chest and place down the foot between the palms. And sink down your right knee and extend the right foot. Grab onto those blocks and press them into the ground. Tuck the right toes and lift away the right knee in your high lunge. Using the blocks to support you, sinking a bit down into the left knee on your exhales. Breathing through the tension, 2 breaths. And exhale, let the right knee come down. Release the blocks and start to push the hips to the back of the mat. Extend the left leg, fold over the left knee for 2 breaths. Root down the right palm, release the left and twist the chest over to the left side. Lift the left palm, gaze to the left thumb for 2 breaths. And exhale, place down the palm, bend the left knee, step away the right knee, and lift the chest high to the sky and stay on to the high point of the back foot. Interlace the palms on the lower back. And with an inhale, press into the palms to open up the chest. 1 breath. Exhale, release. Plant down the palms and step the left foot back into your high plank. Step the right foot over to the right palm and step the left foot over to the left palm. Grab onto your block and place the block underneath the sitting bones. palms at heart center, softly squeezing them together, and use the elbows to open up the hips, push them into the inner side of the knees, and gaze slightly upwards for 3 full breaths. Final breath. And exhale, press into the mat, lift the hips up high in your wide-legged forward fold. Release the palms, release the crown of the head. Staying heavy in the upper body, keep the knees micro bent for 2 breaths. Now, grab onto both of the blocks and place them out to the sides. And start to heel toe the feet together. Root into the right foot and start to let go with the left. Extend the left leg, flex into the left heel, push into the blocks, and find a neutral spine, opening up the chest as high as it can go for 2 breaths in your supported warrior 3. And exhale, let the left foot come back down and root into the left foot, extend out the left toes. Inhale, lift the right foot. Flex that foot for 2 breaths. And exhale, letting go. Very nice. Bend slightly into the knees and remove the blocks out of your way, out to the sides. Bend the knees, root into the palms, and mindfully walk the feet back into that downward dog. Lift the hips high, root into the palms, into the fingers, walking your dog for 2 breaths. And exhale, let the knees come into the mat, keep the toes tucked, and sink your sitting bones into the heels. And place the palms onto the knees, looking to the top of the mat. Take 2 breaths, regrounding the body. Now as you take your next inhale, you're going to tilt the pelvis and push the chest forward, as we did in the cat and cow motion. So inhale, push. Tilt the pelvis, open the chest, and exhale, round into the spine, tuck the pelvis strongly under 3 rounds, moving with the breath. Tuck the pelvis under and create more space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, 1 more. Very nice. Place down the palms and tap the feet into the ground. Releasing those feet. 1 more breath. And exhale, sink down into the right hip and place the feet in front of you, closer to the top of the mat. Place the palms behind you. Take a big inhale. Exhale, release the knees over to the right side of the mat. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Two more. Very good. Grab onto your pillow and place it here at the back of the mat. And start to roll yourself all the way through the vertebrae. So push the palms to the top of the mat, rolling all the way down. And rest down the head onto the pillow. Inhale, squeeze the knees into the chest. Grab onto the shins. And grab the opposite elbows, pushing the knees into the chest. 1 more breath. Exhale, release the legs, extend them to the top of the mat. Extend out the arms and let the palms face the sky. Let the feet come out to the sides. Roll the shoulder blades a bit underneath the back. Stay soft in the fingers, in the feet. And coming back into the calm breath in your shavasana. The final posture, the most important one, complete stillness of the body. Noticing how you're feeling all the way from the toes, up the legs, the spine, out in the arms, in the crown of your head. Staying light in the body, floating on the mat. And thanking yourself for showing up on your mat. knowing that you can stay in your Shavasana for as long as you need to. And I am so grateful that you decided to share your energy and your presence with me here today. And I really hope to see you in my future videos, and I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye!